to the listeners of Freedom 106.5 FM. Always a pleasure to be in your company discussing health, of course, from a natural and integrated perspective. Last program, we touched on a number of topics. We were actually dealing with hormonal imbalance. We did get some questions regarding that. So, of course, keep in mind the program is interactive. And I will allow to based, of course, give you those telephone numbers that you would be able to use to really interact with us on the program.
Of course, our number 627-3223, 625-2257. You could also WhatsApp us at 306-1065.
Nice. So, of course, today we're going to discuss this particular issue of cardiovascular health. We have touched on it a while ago because a number of persons, of course, complain of some sort of problem. Sometimes you have pain in your chest. You may go to the doctor, you go to a cardiologist, you may do an echocardiogram, and of course, the echocardiogram is showing some issues. You might be told that you have some left ventricular hypertrophy, which of course is indication that the left side of the heart is under a little more stress than usual. You may be told that you have some issues associated with blocked arteries as well. And, a number of persons, when, they face that situation, they, of course, want to know, well, what can I do to really correct situation? Is there anything at all from a lifestyle perspective, from a dietary perspective, from a clinical nutritional perspective that could really address that? And, of course, the answer is yes. And that's one of the things that we do at Batson and Associates. Of course, the thing is to determine how bad this particular cardiovascular system or situation is. Now, one of the things we do at Batson and Associates is something known as a live nutritional blood cell analysis. Now, the thing is, because blood is so dynamic and so informative as it relates to what it is able to tell us about the body. Usually sometimes when you do blood analysis, one of the things that actually you pick up, which is usually common for a number of persons who have cardiovascular problems, their cholesterol level might be, a bit higher than usual. You find in a lot of instances, cholesterol is not directly proportionate to heart disease. So in other words, you could have high cholesterol and not necessarily have heart disease, and it could be the reverse, where you could have low cholesterol and you have a heart problems. They look at a number of different things, homocysteine, different levels in the body. But what you normally see is something known as undigested or unprocessed lipids that you actually could see in the blood. It actually looks like lumps of fat throughout the entire blood. Now, the thing is, once you have that, where your body doesn't really process lipids and fats properly, then, of course, you fall very close or you're going to end up in a cardiovascular problem. How so? Because remember, if these undigested lipids and undigested fats actually end up in the blood vessels, which they obviously do, the problem is it's very easy for you to end up with damage to the endothelial lining. That's the lining of the blood vessels, and that could, of course, cause problems with blockages of arteries, venous insufficiency, where you do not have sufficient blood flow to the brain, as well as even in the pulmonary aspect of circulation, as well as systemic circulation, which is, of course, below the heart. So in all those instances, you find when you have problems with proper digestion, especially as it relates to fats and lipids, there's a correlation between that as it relates to heart disease. How do you know you may have an issue like that apart from doing an echocardiogram? And the thing is, diabetics always have some issue associated with poor circulation, hence the reason why you have things like pins and needles, cramping your calves, burning on their feet, which of course is indication of poor circulation, and later on neuropathy, which is nerve damage as a result of poor circulation. Good. So, if that is a situation that you may be experiencing, feel free, of course, to give us a call or visit. One of the things, of course, you're actually able to do, as I said, in doing that blood analysis, both dry and live blood, you're also actually able to see digestion and how well one's food is assimilated. Protein especially, that's another thing. A lot of people have problem actually assimilating or digesting protein. And the thing is, sometimes you may eat a large amount of meat, but the thing is your body doesn't really break down that properly, and that of course could contribute to not only cardiovascular but also gastrointestinal system issues. So you want to really know what is going on in terms of your circulation, what is going on in terms of cardiovascular health. Feel free to give us a call or visit. Again, those telephone numbers and locations. We are located on the first floor of Money Talks building. That is Money Talks building in Montrose, Shogunas. That telephone number, of course, is 222-8261. That's 222-8261. Debe is the corner of Ramsey Trace and the SSA Main Road in Debe. That telephone number for Debe is 223-7515. Again, that's 223-7515. And of course, you could feel free to interact with us. If you have any questions, it doesn't necessarily have to be as regards to the topic that we're discussing, but any question as regards to health or the products and services of Batson and Associates, you can of course feel free to give us a call. So again, I will let Turbase give you that information, unless we have any questions yet.
A question in terms of constipation. I have been suffering from constipation for the past 2 years, tried everything. How can you help?
The thing is, constipation is an issue that does not include your bowels, right? So the thing is, bowel movement is actually a central nervous system function. A lot of people don't know that. Your nerves or your nervous system is what's responsible for ensuring that you have a bowel movement and proper bowel movement on the whole, especially when you look at the muscular system as it relates to the central nervous system in terms of peristalsis, which is muscular movement through the digestive tract. There's an aspect of your central nervous system known as your autonomic nervous system, which basically is parasympathetic, sympathetic. And that particular aspect, the autonomic nervous system, is what controls or ensures you having proper bowel movement based on stimuli and that type of thing. So if you have been constipated for years and you have tried, you are hydrating yourself, so your body weight divided by 2 ounces in water, you are drinking, your diet has now included or now includes sufficient amounts of fiber, because you have soluble fiber and insoluble fiber, and you're still having problems, then that is a central nervous system function. There's some aspect of the central nervous system that may, not be as functional as it should. And of course, in making those adjustments, then that situation should be corrected, of course. So I would recommend, at least if you do the consultation or that test package that we have with the blood, with the magnetic resonance analysis. And there's a piece of equipment that is very efficient in terms of determining a number of things in the body. Non-invasive, so it's not any cutting, any, you're not going in any veins or anything like that, any major blood vessels. But it's just a matter of, magnetic resonance. So the only people who are excused from doing that would be at the age of 12, someone who has some sort of medical device or medical apparatus. So things like defibrillators, pacemakers, because those, of course, work with electromagnetic waves. And so magnets would interfere with that. So persons like that would be exempt from it. Apart from that, anyone else would be able to do it. The blood analysis, as I said before, plays a key role in determining the condition of your intestines, because we know most people have problems with malabsorption, which means that your food don't really digest properly. So that's something that you need to pay very close attention to. So again, you can feel free to give us a call or visit that telephone number again. Just for Shogunas, which will put you onto all the other offices, would be 222-8261. That's 222-8261. Keep in mind, we are live on our social media platforms. We are Batson and Associates Limited on Facebook. On Instagram, we are Batson and Associates TT. On YouTube, it's Batson and Associates Trinidad. And on TikTok, it's Dr. Batson. So, of course, it has a lot of information there. And, of course, you can be able to actually be on the live as well. You may have questions that you may want to ask or make some recommendation to someone. So that's something, again, that you could avail yourself of. Any more questions, sir?
Yeah, someone trying to lose weight, somebody who is a bit overweight and trying to lose weight, how can you help?
Did they indicate whether it's a male or a female?
We can see them typing here.
All right.
Female, 42 years old.
Okay, nice. Well, the thing with weight loss, especially, and that's something, of course, we're going to be doing on a larger scale in this coming month here, in terms of a full-fledged weight loss clinic. Is the thing with women and weight loss is that women have to take their hormones into consideration, unlike men. I mean, men have hormones as well, but the thing is, the woman, because of the dynamics of hormonal imbalance, especially so many women having problems with hormonal imbalance now. Most of them, excess estrogen. So as a result of that, they have serious problems with menstrual cycle. That's something that we touched on last week. They may have polycystic ovarian syndrome, fibroids, endometriosis, very, very painful menstrual cycle. All those are indications of severe hormonal imbalance. But the thing is, once you have a hormonal imbalance, you find it's a bit difficult to lose weight. Of course, we do integrative endocrinology, which basically means hormonal imbalance, dealing with hormonal imbalance from a natural perspective, but also thyroids as well could play some major effect as it relates to preventing weight loss. So, in summary, what it means is that when you're once female and you're looking to lose weight and you're having a challenge, a lot of times you have to ensure that you have proper hormonal, proper endocrine balance in order to give you the results that you're looking at from the weight loss perspective. And again, that's something that we deal with at Batson and Associates. So again, that telephone number, 222-8261. That's 222-8261. And the WhatsApp, of course, which you could also utilize, is 314. That's 314-9975. Over to you.
Right. Thing for polycystic ovaries.
Okay. Polycystic ovarian syndrome. Actually, the program that I did prior to this, when I was discussing that, again, when you're dealing with polycystic ovarian syndrome, you're dealing with hormonal imbalance, endocrine issues. A lot of the times, sometimes you may do T3, T4, which is blood reports for the thyroid. You may do TSH, which is thyroid stimulating hormone, and you may get good results. However, that does not necessarily mean that you're in the clearance, in the sense that when you look at your endocrine system in totality, you have thyroid, parathyroid, pituitary, adrenals, but your pituitary gland is really a master gland that really plays a significant role in controlling all the others. So again, it is important to bring about some aspect of homeostasis balance. There's a product we carry called Women's Formula, very popular, that actually helps with the endocrine aspect of hormonal imbalance. So again, women who may have very painful menstrual cycle, irregular cycles, or some cases you find that you may have bleeding for extended periods of time. All those are clear indication that you have a really terrible hormonal imbalance problem, which later on can actually contribute to more inflammation, and you end up with things like endometriosis, adenomyosis, which are all inflammatory uterine conditions. A lot of times, so those of you who may have that situation and you would like to attend any of our clinics, of course, it's very important that you bring along your abdominal pelvic ultrasounds. The latest, of course, within a year, is usually recommended. So we would be able to see in terms of measurement. A lot of times you would get one and it would say that the uterus is bulky. Now, let's say, for analogy's sake, your uterus is supposed to be the size of a lime. And there are some women, the uterus is the size of a grapefruit, so which is about 3-4 times the size. What accounts for the excess size and the mass? And basically, it has a lot to do with inflammation in there, polycystic ovaries, fibroids, waste matter that has not exited the body properly. So the Women's Formula, there's also one known as Uterine Plus, which is actually a cleanse for the uterus. That again is very popular because it helps significantly in removing a lot of debris and waste from the uterus, actually cleansing that area, which is very important. And of course, keep in mind hydration, always number one on the list. You have to ensure that you're drinking sufficient amounts of water. And of course, we do carry a premium alkaline water at Batson Associates called Alkagen. And of course, you can always get some more information on that as well. Okay.
What's the difference between your water and just irregular water?
Question for your money, man. And the thing is, when you're looking at alkaline water, and anyone who advertises alkaline water on the market, what you're supposed to have any difference with that is something known as pH. Now, in chemistry, there's a scale, and the scale runs from 0 to 14, right? 0 to 7 is primarily alkaline, 7 of course being neutral, and then when you go from 7.1 go all the way up to 14 is alkaline. Now that pH actually stands for percentage hydrogen, which is a significant thing in chemistry and biochemistry, because if you use water that has a pH, so the one we have pH is anywhere between 8.9 9, 9.5, you're going to get some benefits with that. And in addition to that, you have something known as ORP. ORP is actually measured on a scale, and ORP stands for oxidative reduction potential. So in other words, it's an antioxidant water. The thing is, you may have some water on the market because of how the water is actually prepared. It is stripped of minerals, so the water doesn't have calcium, magnesium, and unnecessary things that water is supposed to have in its original state in any case. And of course, that is primarily the difference that you would see with what we carry at Batson and Associates.
All right. Another question here on varicose veins. Anything for varicose veins?
Yeah, man. There's a product we carry called Circulation T. The thing is, when you're dealing with circulation is very what's the word, boy? It's extensive in the body. I mean, when you look at arteries, capillaries, veins, you're looking at a circumference or a total square footage of maybe about 3-4 football fields when it relates to the endothelial lining. People who suffer from varicose veins, the condition medically is actually known as varicosis. And what that means is that there are some valves in the lower aspect of your systemic circulation, and those valves essentially are supposed to really open and close effectively. The thing is, a lot of persons with varicosis is that it doesn't close off properly, and as a result of that, blood actually pools in the area, causing the situation of varicosis. There are a number of things, again, we use for circulation. There's a product we have called Balanced Circulation, Circulation Plus. And what that does is deals with circulation in the extremity. Exercise is also an important aspect where that is concerned. I'm a huge advocate of exercising. I mean, you may not be able to do it every day. You don't necessarily have to go to a gym. But I mean, get a good proper pair of sneakers. You don't even want to go out and walk. You can walk in your yard or in your house. Especially if you have stairs, that tends to help circulation, cardiovascular. The circulation stockings are good, but you need to be careful with those because there is a period of time that you could wear them for. And of course, if you overwear them, they could actually cause further constriction of the blood vessels, and you end up with a serious problem with things like deep vein thrombosis, venous insufficiency, that type of thing. So usually, you would normally do what is known as a Doppler, which is the ultrasound of the legs. And, we would send for referral for that. And once we have that, and we know exactly what's going on in terms of the circulation, then, of course, the recommendation is going to be made because, I mean, we all the same, but essentially we're different. So, once we have that aspect in terms of how well your circulation is, even with the magnetic resonance analysis, we look at something known as brain tissue blood supply, which is the amount of blood going to the brain. But we also look at your entire aspect associated with peripheral circulation, which is, circulation in the extremities. So someone who has, again, varicose veins, spider veins, those type of things, you have serious issues with peripheral circulation. And of course, that's something that we deal with as well.
All right, one more here. Just came in. I am an anemic person with a low blood count. What do you recommend?
Okay, good. But the thing is, once you're anemic, then your blood count is low. The thing is, with persons with low blood count, a lot of the time, sometimes you may be recommended iron tablets. Usually, the most common one is ferrous sulfate. From my perspective, I don't really like that too much personally, and for the 14 years that I've been in practice, simply because it's not necessarily absorbed and maintained in the body. You see these things, you always, in building low blood count, you want to ensure that you actually help the bone marrow, because red blood cells are produced in your bone marrow. So you want to help the body in such a way that the production aspect is basically amped up and maintained, as opposed to just trying to take iron by itself, which could actually constipate you. So it would mean, of course, analysis, CBC, so complete blood count, and once we get that, then we again now be able to know the level that you are at and how we now work to bring you to that particular situation. But normally, different aspects of nutrient-dense foods and that type of thing to be added to the diet to actually bring about that increase in the blood count, and of course, not only increase, but maintenance. And again, quickly, women who may have problems with hormonal imbalance challenges, which is like so many now, especially even teenage girls, if you have that consistent bleeding problem, you'll always be anemic because, of course, it's almost as if you're 10 steps forward but 50 steps back. So every time you get a period and you have this excessive bleeding, of course, you're going to become anemic again. So it's a matter of balancing those entire things so that you fix it in its entirety. And again, that's something we do at Batson and Associates. So that telephone number, sorry, Chris.
Just take a call here. Good afternoon.
Hi, good afternoon. I'm based on Dr. Batson.
Yes, hi.
Water I bought recently. It says a pH of 8.8 and sodium free. Now, is that a drink?
It says pH, sorry.
And there's a dash, 8.8.
Okay, well, yeah, once that is in fact the pH of the water, then yeah, it's a very good water to drink in terms of bringing about that entire change in, positive change in the body, which is what, you want. The advantage with water in terms of that particular aspect is the water also is a micro-clustered water. The particle size is much smaller. So because of that, healing in the body takes place from a cellular level. So yes, it's a good water. Once that is in fact the case, and there could only be benefit from actually hydrating oneself with that particular aspect or that particular type of water. Okay.
So what about a sodium-free bit?
The thing is, the sodium-free, once the process to remove that sodium is not, because as I said, in some cases people do reverse osmosis, which is not really one of the most welcome things, because at the end of the day you want to be using living water, and living water would contain specific aspects of minerals. So I could always do, because I don't want to just talk off the top of my head with that particular sodium aspect, but in water in its natural state is going to have some aspect of sodium in it, sodium, calcium, magnesium, those type of things. So what I will do, I will, in all honesty, look at that particular aspect, and then next week I will make a comment as regards to that. Fair enough? You're welcome.
So much.
You're welcome.
Thank you there, caller. Yeah, that's it for the
question.
I'll let you know. Yeah.
Yes, good. So let me just say again, keep in mind we are live on our social media platforms. We are Batson and Associates Limited on Facebook. On Instagram, we are Batson and Associates TT. On YouTube, we are Batson and Associates Trinidad. And on TikTok, it's Dr. Batson. Let me say a pleasant good afternoon to some of our persons on Facebook. Miss Joan Titus, good afternoon to you. Miss Cindy Hoyt, good afternoon to you. We have a question here. Someone is asking, if someone's uterus is resting on their veins, can that cause bad circulation? And of course, the answer is yes. Most women who have bulky uterus, or a bulky uterus rather, or women who may have fibroids, you have 5 types of fibroids primarily. You have intramural, subserosal, pondulating, and there are 2 others I can't remember off the top of my head. But fibroids are primarily given the name based on the location. The intramural ones are the ones that are really problematic because they are actually in the muscular wall themselves, and that has caused a lot of problem. The thing is, if that is resting on the bladder, for example, or it's compressing veins or organs, because you have to understand it's space you're dealing with. So let's say our organ is supposed to be 2 inches in diameter and yours is 10 inches in diameter. It means it's going to displace other organs close to it. And once that displacement takes place, then you have some sort of discomfort, which is why women with fibroids may have problems with frequent urinating because they're actually resting on the bladder. Men who have problems with BPH or prostatic hyperplasia, which is swelling of the prostate, or benign prostatic hyperplasia, or prostatitis, which is infection of the prostate, which would all increase prostate size, then you're going to have problems with frequent urinating. And that's why men who have problems with the prostate, they find it getting up 10, 15 times in the night to urinate, because again, the size of the organ is much larger than it's supposed to, and it is now resting on the bladder, causing displacement. So as a result of that, now you have the situation with frequent urinating. So, if that is your situation, of course, when you're coming, if you have a most recent abdominal pelvic ultrasound, that's going to help. In the case of men, prostate ultrasounds, which is non-invasive, nobody had to put anything inside of you or anything like that. So it's a good way to determine where you are, and most importantly, to to see the dangers and make the necessary corrections where that is concerned. Okay, again, you could remind them of that telephone number. Again, is now at 139. So we have some time. So again, if you have any questions.
Yeah, there's a question here.
Yes, sir.
I've been experiencing a lot of symptoms, pain in my lower left and right sides below the rib cage. Recently, as of this week, I'm bringing up mucus in the morning with a little blood. Also been having pains in my back and pelvic areas when I need to urinate, but there is no burning sensation or other, other that when I need to urinate, right? There's a strange pain. Right?
Okay. All right. That sounds serious enough. The thing is, if you're getting pain, sorry, you're finished or there's something else?
No, I'm saying, yeah, it's very serious.
Yeah, that's serious. I mean, pain is an indication that something is wrong. If you're having pain in your musculoskeletal aspect, you're talking about, your chest area, your diaphragm there, and then you say you're getting problems in terms of the urinating, you're not getting any burning. The thing is, a lot of people end up with UTIs for a number of reasons, and it sometimes just pulling up one's urine. Women especially, tend to do that because you don't want to use a washroom outside. You might be hustling to home. You sit down in the car and you're holding up your urine, and then you could actually end up with UTIs. It could happen to men as well. The thing is, if you have frequent UTIs, and UTIs is an acronym for urinary tract infections. So if you're having that frequently, it's an indication that something is wrong, especially as it relates to one, in terms of pathogens, because there's actually something known as Candida albicans, which is yeast. Now, the thing is, a lot of people don't really look at yeast as something serious, but news for you, yeast is a serious indication of a number of issues in the body. You have to keep in mind, all living organisms eat and they excrete. When we're talking about pathogens, bacteria, virus, fungus, protozoa, or worms, we're not talking about hundreds, thousands, or millions. We're talking about billions. So it means if you have that in your GI tract consistently, you could end up with, a lot of problems with damage to the urethra, where you have a lot of inflammation, a lot of pain. You actually have buildup of the tissue in the urethra. So if that passage is supposed to be, let's say, for analogy's sake, an inch in diameter, or 2 inches in diameter, because of the buildup and that constant infection situation, because you're going to have to be given antibiotics. Of course, we know the overuse of those is problematic, but if it is you're only getting that, that's what the doctor is going to give you. You're going to create now a chronic or a systemic situation where you end up with, build up in the urethra. I know of cases where persons actually had to go and they had to use catheters. Men, that happens a lot to them, where they actually end up with what is known as stoppage of water. But it's actually an indication where the prostate and the urethra, that entire urinary system, is so compromised that you reach the point that you cannot urinate, which is a very serious thing. So, as I said, those are all indications of your body telling you, listen, something is wrong, and you need to actually address it. So apart from the water aspect, that is something we also deal with at Batson and Associates, because it's only so much antibiotics you could get. If you reach a point where you overuse antibiotics, then you end up with significant gastrointestinal imbalance. I mean, the World Health Organization has, for a number of years, had a lot of concerns with the overuse of antibiotics, because now we have bacteria resistant or antibiotic resistant bacteria, because of you're getting antibiotics for everything. So a lot of times you have to look at it now from a holistic perspective. What am I eating? Am I using a lot of sugar? Am I using a lot of hydrogenated fats? Am I using a lot of fried food? And in using that now, you're actually increasing the inflammation in the body. And of course, we know once inflammation is present, disease literally runs abound. You cannot be, nobody who's very sick has low amounts of inflammation in the body. In fact, the blood test that is used in laboratory report to determine the levels of one inflammation is two types of results for blood tests primarily. You have an ESR, which is an acronym for erythrocyte sedimentation ratio, and then you have something known as a C-reactive protein. So that's an easy test you could do at a lab. And of course, at Batson Associates, we actually do integrative inflammation therapy, where we actually reduce inflammation naturally. There's a product we carry called Inflammation Formula, which is designed to do just that, reduce inflammatory response in the body. Because once inflammation is high, disease abounds. If you look, for example, at people who are referred to having autoimmune conditions, so lupus, fibromyalgia, rheumatoid arthritis, even diabetes, all those diseases, are autoimmune or diseases where high inflammation is present. And again, that is something that we deal with quite successfully at Batson Associates. Of course, keep in mind, if you're coming to do your analysis, your scan, just make sure and walk with all the reports that you may have. The most recent, of course, even from before, because you have to find a point of reference. So, if it is you have CT scans, MRIs, blood reports, whether it's CBC, kidney profile, whatever the case may be, you walk with them. And of course, we will review. And then, of course, with our blood analysis and magnetic resonance analysis, which is very important. I don't want to say I don't care, but regardless of the test that you bring, that blood analysis is very important because we're looking at it from that holistic aspect, and most important, from a cellular level. Again, the body heals itself from a cellular level. Cells give you tissues, tissues give you organs, organs give you organ systems, and organ systems give you the body. So any correction has to take place from that base level there. Okay.
Somebody said, I'm hearing that cancer is a lifestyle disease. Is this true?
The thing is, most diseases now, people, there's a saying that I like very much, and that saying is, genetic load the gun, but lifestyle pull the trigger. So again, genetics would load a gun, but your lifestyle is going to pull the trigger. So you may have some genetic predisposition to diseases. We know that. Nobody is saying no. But this crutch that we have where they want to say, well, oh, I come from a family of cancer, and my mother, sister, cousin, plant had it. No. There is some percentage, yes, but that percentage is very low. And a lot of the times, what you do on a daily basis or what you do not do is what's going to trigger it. Because look, for example, like Napoleon Bonaparte, that family was a cancer family. He had cancer, his mother had cancer, grandfather, was a whole family with cancer. The thing is, as I said, so you could have some genetic predisposition, yes, even to diabetes, even to hypertension, but people, you're looking at maybe about 5%, if so much. The other 95% is what you do or what you do not do. Because, of course, if your diet and your lifestyle, and of course, stress is something that a lot of people do not look at. I mean, there have been numerous studies that have shown people with cancer, if you look at the stress levels, especially things like cortisol, the condition of the gastrointestinal system, regardless of the type of cancer it is, whether it's pancreatic, which pancreatic cancer is the worst type of cancer. That's killing you real fast. Quick. And the reason for that, of course, is because what it does to the body. But the point, the origin has to do again with lifestyle, what you're doing, what you're not doing, environmental. When you look at people, for example, who work in oil and gas, look at people who work in chemicals. So in other words, you can't be someone dealing with agriculture. Let's be practical about it. You spraying whatever they have now, because I don't think they use paraquat again or gramaxone, but of whatever they have on the market now, Roundup, whatever the case may be. And you can't be doing that on a daily basis or, weekly basis, whatever the case may be, and not doing some form of detox. I'm a big advocate of detoxing. Just recently, there was a doctor from Harvard University who did a study on detox, because there are some people who believe, because most conventional doctors tell you that you don't need to take a clean out or a detox, your body will clean itself. I mean, no disrespect to anybody, that's high-class rubbish of the highest order, simply because normal metabolism and normal function, like things like glycation and lipofusion, those type of things, which is normal functions that the body carry and produces waste. If let's say, for example, you don't drink water, how is that going to come out of your system? And that's why we have so many people now with all these type of problems. Hence the reason we have Santulan, which is a 7-channel detox that cleans and detoxifies kidney, colon, bloodstream, liver, lymphatic system, skin, and your lungs. A lot of people would talk about cleanses, but they don't ever talk about the lymphatic system. And your lymphatic system is one of the most important systems in the body, because that is the system that actually cleans your circulatory system. You have to keep in mind too, your circulatory system has a pump essentially, which is your heart. Your lymphatic system does not have a pump. Your lymphatic system functions with gravity and hydration, water. Your lymphatic system doesn't recognize anything else other than water. So if you drink soda, juice, coffee, whatever the case may be, if it is not water, your lymphatic system cannot use that. And that is why, you know, cleansing and detoxifying, proper hydration is so important. Most people do not drink sufficient amounts of water, and they think it's a joke. They think, well, you know, if I drink 10 cups of coffee or, you know, 15 soft drinks, then I'm making up because it's fluid. No, 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 no. Nope, nope, nope. Yeah. What are we speaking about? Because that is what your body needs. I mean, common sense maybe for book, your body is 70% water. Your blood, human blood is about what, 85% plasma, which is liquid. The next 15, 20, 25% is what? Solid components, red blood cells, platelets, that type of thing. So hydration, again, is fundamental. So again, very quickly, those telephone numbers, you can give us a call on 222-8261. That's 222-8261. That's for the Shogunas office. Debe is the corner of Ramsey Trace and the SS Erin Main Road in Debe. That telephone number is 223-7515. 223-7515. And of course, St. James, which is Red Edge Mall, Western Main Road, St. James, that telephone number is 220-8113. 220-8113. Over to you, sir.
All right, that's it for questions for now.
Okay, you could just remind them of the telephone numbers again.
All right, 627-3223, 625-2257. Feel free to call. And of course, our WhatsApp messages 306-1065.
Good. Keep in mind, of course, we are live on our social media platforms. We are Batson and Associates Limited on Facebook. On Instagram, we are Batson and Associates TT. So feel free to like us, share us. We do have one of our promotions that we'll be doing, and that's for the live that we have on Sunday night. So we actually have a giveaway for our Mother's May and that type of segment. So that'll be a good program to actually join in on. And of course, that'll be a question and answer. So of course, we'll be taking any questions that you maybe have. And that, of course, is taking place this Sunday coming here. And that's from 8 p.m. to 9:30 p.m. Okay, so that's something. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon to the Dr.Batson.
Yes, sir. Good afternoon, sir. How are you doing?
Question to ask concerning water.
What?
You're speaking about. Drinking pipe water as opposed to these kind of bottled waters they have selling commodity. What is the pros and cons? If you could compare and contrast from it, I'll have a thank you.
All right, no problem. The thing is, what I will do for good sense to prevail is I will answer this question this way. The thing is, we know pipe water has been around for since our life, right? With commercialization and, you know, in terms of how the economy and, you know, economy scale and whatever the case may be, you basically have bottled water now, right? And that is for a number of reasons, convenience and that type of thing. You know, as it relates to water from tap water, the thing is tap water is neutral, which is 7. Right, and the reason for that is the way we treat water with, you know, chlorine, whatever the case may be, and of course, to keep the pipelines in a particular condition, that water has to be neutral, 7. You can't have acid water running through the pipelines, you know, cause corrosion and all those type of things. So the thing is, in the grand scheme of things, especially from an economic perspective, let's be practical. I mean, not everybody can buy water. So the thing is, my philosophy is get a proper filter and filter your water. And when the need be for you to buy water, purchase water, then you purchase your water. You know, as regards to brands, I can't say as exactly what is out there. I know what it is I have. And I am, of course, not going to ill speak anybody's brand so that nobody wouldn't be sending any lawyer letters to me. And I have to have my attorneys responding to anyone. You know, we don't want that. So the point is, you need to do your due diligence. And I always tell people that do your due diligence. If you're accustomed to drinking a particular type of water, well, you know, look at the water, check the water, do whatever you need to do to make you comfortable. And, you know, do that. As it relates to health, as I said, and based on anatomy and physiology, biochemistry, how the body functions, that type of thing, the pH of water is going to make a difference. So if you're using alkaline water, that is really alkaline water, then you do not have a problem. It is going to help. From the perspective of economics, as I said, you know, get a filter and filter your tap water, you're going to have a good quality water. But, you know, do your due diligence where you are concerned, and most importantly, drink the correct amounts of water. So that's the best way I could answer that question for you. All right.
What about drinking water out of the plastic bottle? You always hear with those, especially for men.
Well, the thing is, what you have to understand too is storage. And I mean, where water is kept, a lot of water, you know, is kept in sun. And I have seen they have water in gas stations, and I kind of have a problem with that, because I mean, when that sun is very hot, you know, and then depending on the types of plastic, the thing is there are a lot of health stipulations now and that type of thing. So the type of plastic they use now for those bottles are a particular type of plastic that wouldn't really cause any specific problem. But again, storage. So where you're keeping your water, where is the water being kept that you're buying? You know, as I said, and that's what you need to do your due diligence. And once you're comfortable, then, you know, do what it is you need to do for that particular aspect. All right.
We have about 6 more minutes, yeah?
Yes, sir. So, of course, again, let me say a pleasant good afternoon to our social media. Keep in mind, we are live on Facebook. On Facebook, we are Batson and Associates Limited. On Instagram, we are Batson and Associates TT. Keep in mind, someone is asking about the office in Tobago. That office, of course, is located in the Triangle Building. That is in Scarborough, Tobago. And that telephone number for Tobago is 226-4553. That's 226-4553. Of course, someone is asking about sleep. What do we do for sleep, or if you have a sleeping problem? And I tell persons, most people don't sleep well, because the purpose of sleep is primarily to rejuvenate neurotransmitters in the body. You have your neurotransmitters are things like epinephrine, norepinephrine, serotonin, melatonin. Most people who have insomnia problems, you don't only have a sleeping problem, but you have central nervous system, liver dysfunction, because your liver converts protein to amino acid to protein, and your body uses amino acids to make neurotransmitters. So things like L-arginine, L-citrulline, and those type of things give you those neurotransmitters, which is things like epinephrine, norepinephrine, melatonin, serotonin, and that type of thing. So you have to correct that system again, and there's a product we use called Nerve Restore. But keep in mind, with all the products that I'm speaking about, or supplementation, or if we make recommendations, the importance is hydration. Hydration is everything. I'll give you a quick example. There are some people who would use popular products, right? I wouldn't call name for obvious reasons. The thing is, you may use the product, and the product is a good product, but you may use the product and you might end up with a lot of pain, and then the product might be recommended as something to help with pain or whatever the case may be. But the point is, you might use it and you get very sick, and you say, well, God, this thing ain't good. It's not that. It's not that. The thing is, it's going to be helping to remove inflammation. The problem is you have so much inflammation in your body, so much toxins, so dehydrated, that you're going to end up sick, because it's as if we... Imagine all of us in the National Stadium. Our National Stadium could hold how many people? What? I think 45,000 or 50,000. I can't remember off the top of my head. But in any case, imagine 45,000 people trying to exit the National Stadium through one normal size door. That's chaos. That's madness, anarchy. People are going to be trampling each other. And the same applies to your body. If toxins try to leave the body too quickly, you are going to feel sick. We call it healing crisis. Scientific name is Hexaminer syndrome. But what that is, so like when our parents, great-grandparents, long time, before they gave us purges, they used to give us cooling. The cooling was actually to do that. So it's a matter of, again, hydrating the body. Because if you don't do that, you're going to go and drink something, and you're going to end up with buttons breaking out in your skin. You're going to end up feeling sick. You're going to end up dizzy. You're going to end up lightheaded. And you're going back talking the people product, but it's not the people product. It's you. Your inside is so dirty, literally, that those toxins trying to come out too quickly, and that is going to cause problems. It's going to cause headaches, nausea, breakouts on your skin. It could elevate your blood pressure. I'll give you a quick example. Look, beetroot. Beetroot is good for hypertension. But if you're someone who hypertensive, you have real bad hypertension, so you must have 6 different medications for hypertension. Thing real bad with you. Your blood pressure reading 180 something over 100 and something. Terrible blood pressure. You cannot, in good sense, go and say you're juicing beetroot to drink. You're going to end up in an emergency room. Because what that is going to do is going to start to push that blood. But the thing is, if your blood is thicker than it's supposed to be, you're dehydrated, what's going to happen? You're going to start to feel sick. Your blood pressure could go up to 200 and something over 100 and something, or even higher. But it has nothing to do with the beetroot. It has to do with your dehydration and the internal dynamics there in terms of the amount of toxin and that type. And that's something that a lot of people don't understand, because you could get yourself very sick like that. So again, feel free to give us a call or visit those telephone numbers and locations. We are located on the first floor of Money Talks building. That is Money Talks building in Montrose, Shogunas. We also at the corner of Ramsey Mooch Trace and the SS Erin Main Road in Davie. That telephone number is 223-7515. That's 223-7515. St. James is Red Edge Mall, Western Main Road, St. James. That number is 220-8113, 220-8113. And of course, Tobago is the Triangle Building in Scarborough, Tobago. That number is 226-4553. Again, 226-4553. You have been listening to Dr. Jason Batson, the Senior Medical Director at Batson and Associates. And as we always say at Batson and Associates, if you think health is expensive, try sickness. If you think education is expensive, try ignorance. God bless you guys. To the listeners of 106.5 FM Freedom, thank you so very much for your time. And until next week, please God, we will be in touch. Remember, again, our social media, we are Batson and Associates Limited on Facebook. And keep in mind that special promotion that we'll be doing. You could join us, like us, share us. Third base, sir, always a pleasure. Until next week, do enjoy the rest of the day, sir.
Thank you very much. Of course, you've been listening to Batson Associates Holistic Health right here on Freedom 106.5.
If you love technology, tune in Digital World on Freedom 106.5.
Yes, my friends. So, social media. So, we have finished this program. So, we're going to be going on a little break, not long. And then in 2:15 to 20, we will be joining DJ Mamu on djmamuradio.tt.com. So, feel free to get your information, look at what you need to look at, and join us. Keep in mind that special live that we're having Sunday. It's Sunday from 8 p.m. to 9:30 p.m. And we'll be having giveaways from our Mother's May. And of course, new persons who would have joined our social media, Batson and Associates Limited on Facebook, Instagram, Batson Associates TT, YouTube, Batson Associates Trinidad, and on TikTok, Dr. Batson. So feel free again to give us a call or visit. Remember our open clinic days. So take advantage of that. Get your blood analysis, get your magnetic resonance analysis scan, and let's get you feeling better. So whether you're dealing with kidney problems, diabetes, insomnia, depression, anxiety, feel free to give us a call. Take care, guys. Do enjoy the rest of your Thursday. Bye.